Hello, my name is Marty. Welcome to the SBL Guru podcast. What we look at in this podcast is SBL in real life. We take the concepts and ideas and theories from the SBL syllabus and we try to apply them in real life organizations. Today we're going to look at cloud computing because that is a topic which is going to come up in the December 2023 examination. Now the model we're going to apply today is Porter's 5 forces. In your exam, you may be asked to analyze the competitive environment or analyze the environment facing a company. If we look at the competitive environment, it looks at suppliers, competitors, and customers. And whenever you analyze anything on the environment in the SBL exam, you should always look for opportunities and threats. All the time. Is it an opportunity to make money? Is it a threat? People are going to come in, take away our customers, increase our costs, take away our market share. So anytime you're answering environmental questions, always look for opportunities and threats. So if you're familiar with the syllabus, you should know the model of Porter's 5 forces. We are going to take the Porter's 5 forces model, and we're going to apply it into the cloud computing industry for companies that are providing cloud and data services to global organizations. First thing we look at is the customers, the bargaining power of customers in the cloud computing market. So if you're a buyer, do you have high power or do you have low power? Well, in this case, the bargaining power of customers is strong. If you're in the exam, don't just say the bargaining power of customers is strong. You always must say why it's strong. Well, in this market, if you're a buyer of cloud computing services, if you're a customer, you've got a wide choice of a number of different providers. They're all competing with each other to get your business, so it puts the customer in a very powerful position. So when you have a very powerful customer, normally it forces the companies to be very competitive on price and also to provide very strong customer service to compete in that market, to win the customer contracts. So potentially, if you're a cloud computing company, strong bargaining power of customers is a threat to you. Second thing you look at is the bargaining power of suppliers. When we talk about suppliers, it is the inputs into a company, the inputs into an organization. So we look at inputs for a cloud computing company. We've got the hardware that they're going to buy, the hardware like the servers they're going to run their cloud computing business from. Now, in this case, there are quite a lot of suppliers available in the market. So this puts the bargaining power of suppliers in a relatively weak position. There are many providers of the critical components and servers that are used by cloud computing companies. So generally, the buyer is in a strong position and the supplier is relatively weak in these markets. However, there is an exception. When we look at a company like cloud computing, the inputs can also be people with the specialist skills and knowledge. In the cloud computing market, there are few people that have the right mix of skills and knowledge to run the cloud computing business. Therefore, the human suppliers, the people who are working in these companies, are in a relatively powerful position. And this means it pushes up their prices, it pushes up their wages, and it puts them in a relatively strong position. Next one is your threat of new entrants in the cloud computing market. If we look at threat of new entrants, we always focus in the exam and discuss barriers to entry in the market. What are the barriers to entry? Now, in this market, there are some quite significant barriers to entry in the market. The existing players, they have strong economies of scale in the market, and also they must have some level of brand loyalty. So if you're Amazon, Microsoft, you've already got big customers buying your product, and they may be unlikely to switch if they're happy with your product. So it makes it much more difficult for new entrants to come into the market. Where the barriers are high, the threat of new entrants is going to be low. So this protects the existing players. We call them the incumbents in the market. It protects the existing players from new entrants. Therefore, it is an opportunity for the existing companies, but it's a threat to those outside the market who wish to enter. it makes it very difficult for a new company to come into the market and take business from Amazon, Microsoft, or even the smaller companies. If they've got good brand loyalty, it means that customers will be reluctant to switch to a new provider. So it's generally very good for the incumbent players who are already in the market. Threat of substitutes in the market. Now, what you've got to think about when you talk about threat of substitutes in the cloud computer market is, what are the substitutes? Something that does something similar, but by a different process. So instead of cloud, you could have your own data center. But if you have your own data center, it's relatively expensive. It requires a lot of effort, space, and expertise to run your own data center. So what we've got here is there are substitutes, but the substitutes are relatively high priced in this market. Therefore, the threat of substitutes in this sector is relatively low. Finally, let's talk about competitive rivalry in the market. In this market, there is intense competitive rivalry. There's a lot of competition in the cloud computing sector. You've got Amazon Web Services, you've got Microsoft Azure, you've got the Google Cloud Platform. They are fighting each other to gain market share. There is fierce competition. And all the time, they're investing in innovation and cutting prices to try to win customers. This means if you're in the market, it's very tough. You're going to have to cut your prices. You're going to have to offer excellent customer service and have good marketing if you're going to win customers in this sector. So in terms of opportunity or threat, competitive rivalry in the cloud computing sector is a major threat. It's not good for you. So if you're in the exam, whenever you're asked to analyze the competitive environment, go through the 5 forces and talk about opportunities or threats. That's the key to answering the 5 forces question. Explain the opportunity, explain the threat of each of the 5 forces in the examination. Hope it all goes well for you in the examination. If you want more information and free resources, please visit my YouTube channel and also search for the other podcasts on whatever provider you're using. All I ask you to do is please like and subscribe so more people can find my resources. If you're interested to complete one of my courses, I do offer a full course for the exam. Please get in touch at martywindle.com. You'll find all my contact details there. We can arrange a video call where I can discuss my revision course, my boot camp, my mock exam course, or my full course Platinum Plus. Please get in touch if you need help to pass the SBL examination.